Well, you mentioned there, it's saying it's pointless to focus on negatives and to worry about politics and stuff. Isn't that based around a keenness from the fan base not to squander this opportunity, being back in the Premier League? And are you in the best position possible as a manager to have the best season that you can have now that you're back in the top flight?
Yeah, so you mean like the fans, like the negativity based around the excitement then sort of been knocked out of you type thing? Yeah, listen, I've felt that. But it was always a possibility, do you know what I mean? If we continually talk about that, certainly internally, certainly in my job and the people I'm working with, if we're continually focusing on that or trying to come out of any interview, PR and focusing his attention on how we're looking in the press rather than actually doing his jobs and trying to get players in, that's going to define the season. So I just want everyone's focus now on Palace internally, the staff, the players, Palace, myself, the board, recruitment, players. Yeah, and that's it. That's got to be our focus now. Forget everything that's gone. It's about going forward and attacking this season. And you know what? Yeah, I know the area well enough. I know this club well enough. And usually in times like this, we can surprise a lot of people, And so I'm not scared of it. I'm not fearing what's gone off or dwelling on what's gone off. It's about this game, and this game's one that's exciting me and the players. And from this moment on, from this point on, we should only be getting stronger. And that's if we do the right things.
How disappointed are you, though, that 4 days before the start of the season, that's when player sales are happening, and could things have happened quicker this summer? Players going out and then ultimately players coming in.
Of course it could, but listen, I'm not going to dwell on it. Those conversations, my thoughts on that will always stay internal, always stay with the board and Prince Abdullah. We speak regular enough. I think it's important they get what I really think rather than you guys, because we always want to improve. Yeah, so things we could have done different, of course, but not everything's in our control. When players, clubs come in for our players, not in our control. There may be talk. There's always lots of talk. I'm always answering questions on lots of things that may happen or will never happen. It's only certain moments in time when things do actually happen, and there is bids and there is decisions to be made. So it could have been different, but it's not all down to us.
Is it true that Sander Berge was told sign for Burnley or sign a new contract here, or you'll be frozen out? Because that was reported this week.
I think you know me well enough, Rob, that no one would be treating any different while I'm here. Not a chance. We've got too many players in the last year of the contract. We'd have 15 bodies sat in the stand, wouldn't we, if that were the case. So I would not allow that to happen. Listen, if there's been other conversations gone on, then you need to ask other people. But the players certainly know that I wouldn't do that. I won't be party to that. My relationship with Sander, I think he's confident. He would be confident in that. And you know what? Sander was happy to stay. Sander would have stayed here. He would have played the last year in his contract. He would have given everything for us. Maybe stayed beyond, or he would have been in a position to explore his options, as you are entitled to do that when you sign a contract. So yeah, I'm disappointed. Sander is in a way, but then ultimately he's decided to move after the club have accepted a bid.
Is there something to be learned in terms of getting contracts done if you can? I mean, obviously it's difficult sometimes.
Yeah, but don't forget
sooner.
The situation the club was in last year. And this is not me making excuses, because I've been trying to get contracts done, but there's reasons and there's things at play that I'm not privy to. You guys certainly aren't, And we all know there's been conversations going off at board level with various different people. Again, not for me to comment on, because I'd probably get things wrong. I'd just be guessing, maybe a little bit more educated guessing than you guys, but I'd be guessing. So yeah, there's always things going on that affect that. But yeah, I certainly understand how serious it is when you've got players going into or approaching the last year of the contract.
How important are these next 3 weeks to give you, because you've done such a good job getting this team back into the Premier League, to give you the best chance to have a good crack at this and not be having one arm time behind your back?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. Listen, Prince Abdul's assured me that money's there for us to spend now, so we need to go and spend it. We need. I don't need too much away, and I'm not going to speak about players' names. No doubt one of you will start asking me names soon. I'm not going to speak about that, but it's fair to say, you only have to watch us train. We have got a lot of young boys in our group. Listen, and it's been, my point is, and why I want to get players in, from November 21 when we took over, think we've lost 18 players in terms of numbers from that first team squad, and we brought 6 in. So we're 12 bodies light. Forget the quality, we are 12 bodies light at first team level from when we first took over. And now we've done a lot of good work and replaced that with a lot of boys from the academy, but we've also sold then a lot of talent from the academy beneath, so we desperately light regardless in terms of bodies. We've done a lot of recruiting and lots of good potential to work with, but I am pushing for now players with that little bit more experience, the ones who I know what I'm going to get from them, and are going to give us a big lift in these last 3 weeks, and a big lift as a group, big lift for the fans, and who hopefully you'll see a lot of them between now and the end of the season.
And although it is 3 weeks, because that's the length of time you've got to the window shuts, does it almost have to happen before the end of the window?
It happens when it happens. I would have wanted it weeks ago. Then you can start working with players, because don't forget, like you see it when the new boys come in, there's a rabbit in headlights moment, especially when it's a big step up, because we've got signed a lot of boys with big step up. The boys who come out the academy then playing with us, not even played league football, never mind Premier League football. So yeah, we've got a few rabbit in headlights moments that we need to get over, but us as staff, we're relaxed about that. We accept that. We need, I think I've called for it, we need everyone else to be patient with those type of players, but to help those players along, we need the other boys with a bit more experience, because if I'm a young player and I'm coming into a team that's struggling or light, or a team of other young players, it's difficult. If I'm a young player coming into a team that's performing well and well drilled and everyone knows their jobs and there's lots of experience about to help me out, I perform a lot better. And that's the goal, that's what we have to do. So if we are going to develop players as well as try and be competitive on the pitch, we need to give them the best chance.
I respect the fact that you say you're not going to talk about names, so I'll only ask you about the one that's been here before. People are still wondering, is there a chance that Tommy Doyle could come back? Is that still a possibility at all for this football club?
Yeah, I don't mind talking. Listen, he's not our player, but he's someone I speak to and in contact with.
So is there still a chance that he could come back in
There's
your
always a
view?
chance, Rob.
There's always a chance.
Always a chance.
Okay. I know you said that with Sousa it's a visa sort of situation, but is he in a position where physically he could play a Premier League game for you this weekend if that's sorted out?
Listen, he'd have no choice. He'd be in. We've got no players. But he's not where he wants to be. He knows that. He's not played football for a long time. He's been doing some training, but no 11v11 stuff, no games. We're looking over his training data, things he's been doing the last few weeks, if you like, months. And he's way behind because he's not been able to get the match exposure. So we're conscious of that, but he's probably going to have to get that with us as we're playing now the season started.
Injury-wise, is there any good news there ahead of this weekend? Are the players who might be available for you that you were concerned about?
Not who I would have expected. Everyone's further on, everyone's progressing as and when, but not many of the boys will be near fit for this weekend.
Will you be a little bit stretched for this game just because of the injuries and the need to do stuff in the market? Yeah,
we're massively stretched at the minute. Yeah, we are.
How do you sort of manage that as a manager? Because you might have sort of inexperienced players. And
we had it last season. We got promoted. We've done it before. I think that's what we fall back on. As I said, we could moan about it. We could look at it and see it as but what an opportunity for one, the young players who were stepping up from the academy, and two, the young lads who we just signed. They know they're going to be thrown straight in. They've got a chance to hit the ground running in the Premier League. So I see it for them as a huge opportunity.
What kind of a test will Palace provide?
Yeah, tough one. We've seen a lot of them. I think without even watching them this pre-season, I could have predicted what they would be like, and pretty much the same. I know they're going to be really well drilled in when they've not got the ball in the areas they try and protect. They're going to be well drilled when they've not got the ball and where they want to pinch the ball and break on you as well, with those players at the top end of the pitch who are always a threat. And when we're attacking as well in the final third, we've always got to be wary of that threat on the counter. So we know they've got some really dangerous players at the top end of the pitch where when they've got the ball they're dangerous, and when we've got the ball they're just as dangerous. So that's going to be a big challenge and something that we've been speaking about a lot.